They say aging weakens the legs, but what if it's not age? It's what's on your plate. Because some fruits inflame the joints, stiffen the muscles, and leave you feeling heavier by the day, while others do the opposite. They rebuild tissue, nourish circulation, and restore the strength that aging tries to steal. Welcome back to the Senior Health Podcast, where science and tradition meet to help you stay sharp, strong, and independent after 60. Today's episode could be a turning point, because if your legs feel weak, if standing is harder, if stairs wear you out, the answer may be in your fruit bowl. And no one understands this better than today's guest. He's over 100 years old, still walking daily, still treating patients, and still using the healing power of food to restore what age has taken. Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara is here to reveal the 7 fruits that don't just taste good, they help you move again. Doctor, thank you for joining us once more.
Thank you, John. It's always a joy to be here, especially when we're talking about something this urgent. Leg strength means freedom, and too many seniors are losing it not because they're inactive, but because they're missing the right nourishment. In our last conversation, we talked about fruits that harm circulation and weaken the lower body. Today, we go the other way. We focus on 7 fruits that help restore balance, mobility, and strength when eaten the right way. Each one has its own unique effect on joints, on blood flow, on the muscle fibers themselves, and I'll explain what to eat, when to eat it, and even when to be careful, because not every fruit is safe for every person. And by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly what to keep and what to skip if you want your legs to carry you longer.
That's a powerful promise, Doctor. How can something as simple as fruit really make such a difference in rebuilding strength?
Because the body doesn't need complexity, it needs support. Certain fruits reduce inflammation in the legs, others increase oxygen delivery, and some trigger muscle repair. But the secret is not just the fruit, it's the context. When you eat them, what you pair them with, and how your gut receives them. These small details decide whether food becomes medicine or just more noise. So we'll begin with the first fruit that quietly supports muscle recovery and joint protection. Then I'll show you which combinations increase results and how timing matters more than people think. This isn't about cutting food, it's about choosing smarter. Because when the body gets what it needs, strength returns faster than anyone expects.
I remember a patient of mine, 74 years old, who told me she had to rest halfway up her stairs every single day. She ate healthy, but her breakfast was mostly fruit juice and a banana. When we adjusted just a few things, added the right fruits, shifted the timing, within 2 weeks she was moving with ease. It reminded me how powerful small changes can be when they're rooted in the right knowledge. So, let's dive in, Doctor. What's the first fruit you recommend for rebuilding leg strength after 60? And why does it work so well?
The first fruit is tart cherry. It's rich in natural compounds like anthocyanins and melatonin, and both are crucial for seniors. Anthocyanins reduce inflammation in muscles and joints, while melatonin helps improve sleep, which is when tissue repair happens. Studies in older adults show better strength and less soreness when tart cherries are consumed regularly, especially in the evening. And unlike sugary fruit juices, tart cherry supports recovery without causing blood sugar spikes.
That's incredible. And I imagine the timing matters, especially for those who wake up with stiff legs or struggle after just a walk around the block. So you'd suggest eating them at night?
Yes, a small amount after dinner, either fresh, frozen, or in unsweetened juice form. It helps the muscles relax, lowers overnight inflammation, and sets up better movement the next day.
That's more strategic than most people realize. It's not just about what you eat, but when.
Exactly. Food is not just fuel, it's instruction.
And that explains why some people can eat healthy, but still feel exhausted. They're missing the healing rhythm, the pairing of food with function. I love how this shifts fruit from being a sweet treat to being a real tool. All right, let's keep going. What's the second fruit that's quietly helping seniors walk stronger, stand taller, and feel steadier on their feet?
The second fruit I recommend is pomegranate. It's a traditional fruit in both Middle Eastern and Asian medicine, and now it's backed by strong science. Pomegranate improves blood flow, supports nitric oxide production, and helps deliver oxygen deeper into leg muscles. That's vital for seniors because as we age, capillaries shrink and circulation slows, especially to the extremities. Pomegranate helps reverse that process. It also protects the blood vessels from stiffness, which reduces the feeling of heavy legs many older adults describe. And unlike sugary juices, pomegranate's compounds work even in small amounts. No need to overdo it. Just a few spoonfuls of fresh seeds or a few ounces of unsweetened juice can be enough.
That's an amazing benefit from such a simple fruit. And I think a lot of people associate pomegranate with antioxidants, but not necessarily with physical energy or circulation. You're saying it can actually help the legs feel lighter and stronger?
Yes, because oxygen delivery is everything. When legs don't get enough blood, they fatigue quickly. Pomegranate helps restore that supply line. And many seniors feel the difference in just a few days. It's especially useful for those who feel their legs burn after walking or climbing, or for those who struggle with cold feet, swelling, or numbness. And if combined with light movement, even gentle stretching, its effects multiply. The fruit sets the stage, the body takes the cue.
That's really powerful, and it also reframes the role of fruit, not just as nutrition, but almost like a message to the body.
Yes, certain fruits tell the body, you can move again. Others say, it's time to heal.
And when you look at it that way, it becomes less about calories or sugar and more about signals. You're not just feeding your stomach, you're feeding your strength, your balance, your ability to stay independent. This is already reshaping how I look at fruit in my own home. Let's keep building. What's the third fruit that belongs on the list, especially for seniors who want to protect their legs as they age?
The third fruit I recommend is citrus, particularly oranges and grapefruit, though there are exceptions we'll get to in a moment. These fruits are rich in vitamin C and bioflavonoids like hesperidin, which help build collagen, and collagen is critical for the soft tissue around your knees, hips, and ankles. Without enough of it, every step becomes harder. Citrus also improves capillary flexibility, so your legs can receive blood more efficiently during movement. It's a circulatory support and a structural one, and when eaten in the right portion, half a fruit or a few segments, it won't overwhelm blood sugar.
That's an important clarification, because a lot of people worry about sugar in fruit, especially if they're diabetic or pre-diabetic. But it sounds like whole citrus in moderation can still offer huge benefits.
Yes, the key is portion and preparation. Always eat it whole, not as juice. And if you're on medication, especially statins or blood pressure pills, you must avoid grapefruit. It can interfere with absorption.
That's a crucial warning, one I don't think enough people hear from their doctors.
We must never generalize. One person's medicine can be another's mistake.
I appreciate how you always bring it back to personalization, because the truth is, most seniors are trying their best. They eat fruit, they move when they can, but they're rarely told which specific foods will actually restore their strength. This conversation is giving people a roadmap. So let's keep going. What's the fourth fruit on your list? And how does it support the lower body after 60?
The fourth fruit I'd recommend is blueberries. These small berries are loaded with antioxidants, especially anthocyanins, which protect muscle fibers from oxidative stress. In seniors, oxidative stress builds up more easily, especially after physical effort. That's why so many people feel sore, even after gentle movement. Blueberries help the muscles recover faster and keep inflammation levels low. They also support vascular health, which improves circulation to the legs and feet. And perhaps most importantly, they do all of this with very little sugar impact, making them one of the safest fruits for seniors.
That's a game changer, especially for those trying to balance blood sugar with strength. I've had patients avoid fruit entirely out of fear, but blueberries sound like something most people can tolerate well and benefit from quickly. Are there any timing considerations with these?
They're best in the morning or early afternoon, especially after a walk or light exercise. The compounds work almost like a post-workout recovery aid, natural, gentle, and effective. If you combine them with a little protein, the results are even better.
That's a great tip. Most people wouldn't think of blueberries as recovery food, but it makes perfect sense.
Yes, food doesn't need to be exotic to be powerful. It just needs to be consistent and understood.
And that's what I think makes this list so refreshing. You're not giving people expensive superfoods or pills. You're showing them how to use everyday things with purpose. That gives people power back, especially when it feels like their body is slipping away. So now that we've gone through these four, I want to ask something else. How should seniors think about combining these fruits? Can they work better together, or are there combinations that might reduce the benefits?
Yes, combining the right fruits can actually amplify their effects, but only if done with balance. For example, pairing blueberries with citrus in the morning gives both antioxidant and collagen support, which protects the joints and muscles, or having a small serving of pomegranate with tart cherry in the evening. That supports circulation and nighttime recovery at the same time. What you don't want is to blend everything together into a smoothie. That overwhelms the gut, blunts the digestive signals, and often leads to sugar spikes. Whole fruits are more powerful because they take time to break down, which gives the body time to respond properly. Also, combining too many fruits at once can confuse people's symptoms. Simpler is better and more effective.
That's a perspective most people never hear. Everyone's trying to get more in, more antioxidants, more vitamins, but it sounds like layering too much actually reduces the benefits. You're saying the gut needs clarity as much as the muscles do?
Absolutely. Each fruit carries a specific signature, a message for the body. When you eat it alone or with one good partner, the body can recognize that message and respond. But if you combine 5, 6, 7 different fruits all at once, the body gets overwhelmed. The signals start to compete. Digestion slows, and instead of healing, you're left with confusion, gas, bloat, or even fatigue. That's why intentional pairing matters so much more than quantity.
That's a big shift from what we've been taught. Everyone's looking for variety, for color, for more nutrients. But I've seen patients feel worse after so-called healthy smoothies. What you're describing feels like a return to something older, more respectful of the body's limits.
Yes, healing comes from precision, not excess. The goal isn't to overwhelm the system, it's to align it with what it truly needs. One signal at a time, one fruit at a time.
That word, align, really hits home, because what you're saying is the body isn't broken. It's just waiting for the right cues. It wants to rebuild. It wants to move again. We just have to speak its language. So let's keep going. What's the next fruit that does that? Especially one that supports not just muscles and circulation, but also gut health, since that seems to be the root of it all.
The next fruit I recommend is prunes. They're deeply underrated, often misunderstood, but incredibly valuable for seniors, especially when it comes to gut health and leg strength. Prunes help keep digestion regular, yes, but they also nourish the gut lining, support microbial diversity, and reduce inflammation throughout the lower body. And that's where the connection lies. When the gut is inflamed, so is everything else, including the joints, the blood vessels, even the nerves. But when the gut is soothed, nutrients absorb better and the legs regain their foundation. Prunes also contain boron and vitamin K, which help protect the bones and joints. So every step becomes safer, more stable, more confident. And because their sugar is balanced with fiber, they digest slowly without causing spikes.
That's so interesting, because most people think of prunes as just bathroom medicine. But what you're saying is, they actually support the root system of strength, the gut, the bones, and the ability to stand tall.
Exactly. The gut is the power station. If it's working well, the whole body becomes more resilient, including the legs.
And that makes me think differently about how we treat weakness. So often people go straight to stretching or resistance training, which are both great. But if the foundation isn't strong, if the gut isn't absorbing and fueling that effort, the results just won't come. I love how this makes fruit a functional part of recovery. So doctor, what's the final fruit on your list? The one that rounds out the picture for leg strength after 60?
The final fruit I recommend is blackberries or raspberries, depending on what's available. These berries are rich in fiber, polyphenols, and micronutrients that directly support vascular health and nerve signaling. That's especially important for balance and leg coordination, which many seniors begin to lose without realizing it. These fruits don't just help you move, they help you move with control. The fiber also feeds the gut microbiome, which creates compounds that calm inflammation throughout the body. That includes the small nerve endings in the legs and feet, the ones that affect sensation, reflexes, and stability. And because blackberries and raspberries are low in sugar, they're safe even for those managing insulin resistance or blood pressure. They're small, powerful, and protective. A perfect end to this list.
That's a beautiful full circle, from strength to circulation to recovery, and now to control and balance, and all of it through everyday fruits that most people overlook.
Yes, that's what I hope people take from this. Healing doesn't always require a new drug or a complex program. Sometimes it's a shift in perspective and a bit of patience.
This really makes me reflect on what we've lost in modern health advice. So much of it is about cutting things out. But what if the real change happens when we put the right things back in? This list of 7 fruits is simple, but it's also profound. It gives people tools. And more importantly, it gives them hope that no matter where they're starting from, they can rebuild. So doctor, for someone listening right now, what's the one thing they can do today to get started?
Start with 1 fruit. That's it. Not 7, not even 3. Just 1. Choose the one that speaks to your symptoms. If your legs feel swollen and heavy, try pomegranate. If you wake up stiff, go for tart cherry. If digestion is the issue, begin with prunes. What matters most is creating momentum, letting your body feel the shift. From there, everything becomes easier.
That's such clear, actionable advice. So many people feel paralyzed by all the options, or they try to do everything at once and burn out. But you're saying, start small, be consistent, and let the body lead.
Exactly. It's not about changing everything overnight. It's about inviting the body to heal, one quiet step at a time.
And that's the heart of this episode. You've given us more than a list. You've given us a philosophy. That strength doesn't come from pushing harder, but from nourishing smarter. That the legs we rely on every day are deeply connected to what we eat, when we eat it, and how well our body can absorb it. And that even after 60, it's not too late to rebuild. So thank you, Dr. Hinohara, for reminding us that the simplest foods, when chosen with care, can become the strongest medicine of all. And for everyone listening here in the studio, I just want to thank you all.